Today's class, well, let us today discuss about research metrics and uh, so again, research metrics not just generally it has been made. It is the a tool which is made available to evaluate the quality of the research output. So it may be anything. The research output, not only just the articles what you are going to publish. The research output means what the quality of a research you are conducting, and in which journal you are publishing. What is the quality as well as the scope of a journal, as well as the author's quality. How this particular article is attracting the related as well as general audience, and how the audience are considering, how the readers are considering your published data. So overall, the evaluation of the quality of the research output can be said as research metrics or a research matrix. So to evaluate the quality of a research output, we have got many quantitative ideas or many quantitative tools. So it may be in any point of time you might have come across with some of the words such as impact factor, some of the factors like that citations, some of the factors like the site score, some of the factors like H index, some of the factors like I10 index, some of the facts like the what we call a number of readers, some of the facts like how the audience are taking this. I mean, how it has been um, discussing. Let us take, so if you are truly, if you are working on academics, let us take you want to publish an article and academic related, and it is nowhere having any a greater impact on the social life, then what happens? So your article will be read, circulated by only the academicians, only the scientists. So if your article is based on the social aspects, then what happens? Even the general audience, even the news, even the media, even the, I mean, let us talk about the social media also. We'll talk about the articles. You will talk about your research outputs. If you have made any impact on a social aspects. So what happens if you are working on a social aspects? Then how the general audience, how the media, how the social media are taking into circulation, how it is being made impact on others' life, how it is being considering for the betterment, and how your research output can make use for the changing the social problems. So all those things can be evaluated. So the research metrics can be greatly having any great impact on the social related publication than the academic publication. It's not wrong that only we are looking for academic publication, even though it is very important, very crucial to go for the academic publications too. What happens? Social impact, social related problems you can solve, and you can publish it in the article. So what happens? The audience, the related audience can access that, and they can make use of it. If you're looking only exclusively for the academics, then what happens? Your students, your successors, your mentors can make use of that. Okay, na? So today we'll discuss about some of the aspects related to the research metrics. So before going in detail about the research metrics, today let us know about what actually these research metrics. So the research metrics, as I already defined, that this is what a tool. It's again, let me tell about a very precisely that it's a quantitative tool mainly used to assess the quality of the research output. How the research output is impacting in the others. It may be, let me take, so if you publish an article, how the readers are accepting it, whether the readers are citing it or not, whether you are justified with the results which are published in a particular journal or not. So you could have gone for a better journal or not. So whether you are competent enough to find a suitable journal which where you can publish your data, whether the published data in which particular journal is genuine one. I mean, whether it is having any impact or not, whether it is having any greater number of readers or not. So all these again considers the research metrics. Thus, the research metrics, as I already told you, that it's an evaluation tool made for the journal, for the manuscript which have been published by the authors, even the researcher level. How the research are nothing but if I publish in only one article, then the research metrics are very less. If I go on frequently publishing the article, then what happens? I'm going to have a greater number of readers. So if I publish the articles in a more suitable, more genuine, and more good, more competent, more readable journals, then what happens? Again, I can increase my readers, I can increase my metrics, I can increase my quality. So what happens? Even if my research is having any quality, then I can go for demanded, more readable, more citable journals. If my quality of research is substandard, then what happens? I can only access a very substandard, a very minimum readable, minimum reading journals. So always research metrics is not restricted or confined only to the journals or articles. It may be even related to the level of research, what research is being carried out. And apart from that, each and every research metrics, as I already told you, that it may be an impact factor, it may be a I10 index, it may be a H index, it may be a site score, it may be a citations. We'll tell you the different types of research metrics in the coming slide. Will help them. Okay, na? So each and every research metrics are having its own limitations. Why? Because they will tell you in the coming slide. Will help them limitation in. For example, on general talk, we already know that in my previous class I told you that the nature is having highest impact factor. Why? Because it is a more reputed one, it is a multidisciplinary one, it is having more number of readers. And so what happens? So if it is having highest impact factor, let us take 42 something. You have done a beautiful, innovative, novel work where you don't want to publish your article in a Nature. Fine. So you want to go for publishing it in a journal which is having around 2, 3, or 4 impact factor. Then it is going to become, your work is going to become 2 impact factor work. Of course, you are having an competent, which is that particular work you have been carried out is having all the suitable competent capacity to publish in a Nature, but because of lack of your scope, because of lack of your idea, you fail to publish that in the Nature. Then will that work will become the less or a substandard one? No. Why? Because here complete qualitative as well as a quantitative analysis has to studied, so that only then only you can go for publication in the most reputed, most reputable journal. And one more point is the impact factor. The most accepted, even till today, if I ask them, if anyone asks me to publish in articles, in which journal you want to publish. So by seeing the quality of research, I'd like to tell everyone that I want to publish this article in a high impact factor journal. Why? Because the impact factor is the only one, a major tool which can increase the quality of a person among the scientific arena, among the research group. Let us take, if I am having around 5 to 6 group of friends, having all are doing a research in a different fields. If I have a publication in the 5 impact factor journal, then all the remaining 5 will see me in such a way that, oh, he has done a great job. So because they just like having 1 crore, if 5 students are having 1 student is 1 crore, one student is having 10 lakh, another student is having only 2 lakhs, and some other students having only 1,000 rupees, then among the 5 students, to which the again the general audience will start giving respect more to the person who is having higher money or more, who is rich. Of course, it again it's a bitter truth that the public or audience will give more respect to the person who is having higher money. It's not about the quality, it's about the money. Similarly, though impact factor is having some limitations, but the impact factor, high impact factor journals are the main necessary point or a main necessary tool for the publication, which can increase the quality, which can increase, which is going to enhance the what we call ideas of the person who is going to publish. So if let us take, if I today have published an article in the 5 impact factor journal, tomorrow I will start uh, tomorrow I will start thinking about, I want to publish an article in a high impact factor, more than 5, not less than 5, because it is going to increase my ideas. So if I publish an article in 2 impact factor journal, then everyone think that the 5 impact factor journal is again just by a luck, not by the efforts of Dr. Similarly, Apart from that, as I already told you that some of the research matrices or H index, item index, citations, and many more are there, and we'll discuss about all those things in the coming slides. And as I already told you that the research metrics also useful tools for the researcher, one who is working as, I mean, the author, when they are choosing their publication to be made available to the audience in a suitable journal. Now coming to the how to interpret research metrics. So you need to know when we talk about the research metrics, you need to even have the interpretation capacity. So Rathi, but so someone will ask you in which journal you have published your article and what is the metrics of that particular journal. What is the metrics of your quality? What is the metrics of your article? What is the metrics of your own in which you have published the article? So all these things you need to interpret because the all the scientific world needs to know that you need to publish the articles in a more suitable, more scoped, and more what we call readable, more citable journals. So you need to know that who in which journal you are publishing the article, whether the journal read by the which community. I mean, whether the journal reading by type of a persons, whether they are only the academicians, whether only the scientists, or only the high-end researchers, or only the youngsters, just like the Bala Vignana readers, or only the social readers, only the news readers. So you need to know the journal in which you are publishing, who is reading that, and whether are they based on your research output, and what is the role of your articles and how it is impacting on the audience, whether the audience are accessing it or not. You should know this because once after publishing your data, if none of the successors are not accepting, which are not accessing your article, why? Because either it may be not suitable to their area, or it may be your publication is still doubtful, or your publication is not up to the mark. So what happens? The authors will not start referring, the authors will not start citing, authors will not start accessing, even though they have it. So the most thing is that you need to know in which, when you're publishing the articles, you need to know whether the journal is readable or not. If they are readable, who are the persons are going to read that? Who are the persons are going to access it? Next, after that, after the publication of you are related, for example, you are working on a nanoparticles, you need to know who are the key authors, who are the main authors, who are the main contributors for that particular nanoparticles. Because I'm working on a nanoparticles, so just directly I cannot become the pioneer in nanoparticles. There are some other persons who has done a pioneer, who has done a tremendous work in that, and they will be repeatedly publishing the work on a nanoparticles. So you need to know who are the key authors for publishing the articles, and you need to refer those articles because the pioneer or tremendous authored publications will be having a greater impact. So if you refer them, what is going to happen? So you are the chances of making a mistakes are minimizing. So, and after that, if your quality of a research on a nanoparticles, which is almost or quite similar to that of a key authored publications, then you need to check where they are going to publish it, whether they are publishing in a particular journal, whether that particular journal is having any competency to publish your articles, whether they're going to if that particular article, let us take the nanoparticles which have been, let us take I am the person who has done a tremendous work in the nanoparticles, and if I'm repeatedly publishing my articles in a journal of nanoparticles in Telugu, so tomorrow someone of you will come and start working on a nanoparticles and you have done a beautiful and novel result. So you will start, when you start referring my articles, you will find out what where Dr. Arjun used to publish the articles, what is the most common publishing journals of the Arjun. There you need to publish. So what happens? They repeatedly that particular journals will accessed by the many of the readers like you will start accessing your articles also. So thereby it is going to enhance your metrics, the level of quality. So if a person who is doing the pioneer work is publishing the articles in a most reputed journal, if you are as a beginner, if you are publishing it in the same journal, then what happens? Your articles also quite equivalent to the pioneer work done by Dr. Arjun, right? So yeah, this is how you can interpret your metrics. and how the users are responding to your content. I mean, so whether the after publication of your articles, whether that particular article being cited by other successor or not, other new researchers or not, whether any discussions are being carried out on your article or not. So if your article is not being discussed by any among the successors, I mean the next researchers, or it is not been cited by anyone, then it is being said that your article is not up to the mark. So it is been said that always the quality of a journal will be discussed more, will be cited more. It may be any in the it may be in the any beautiful journals. Next, how is your subject area developed? I think, but you should not take a subject. The research should be the research area should be more booming, more advanced, more classical. It should not be only just a basic level, only the fundamental level. So what happens? The fundamental research has been already been carried out again 10, 20 years back. So if you are again working on a fundamental aspect, then the audience will not accept that. So your area of research should be a more advanced, a more beautiful, and it should convince more number of authors, more number of readers. So you should always select the hot topics, booming subjects, emerging fields, as well as there should be always a key conversation should repeatedly happen in the 2021. Let us take today, if I'm talk about the key topics under COVID-19. So if today we'll start talk about the COVID-19 related any of the topics, if you find any of the novel information, then again it is going to become a more wonderful aspect. Then your article will be the article will be more discussed, more cited by the many readers. So if you work on again H1N1, then who is going to take care of the H1N1, right? So the topic or area of research should be a more booming, more advanced, more related, more recent. And why was a specific article success? Again, for example, let me talk about Human Genome Project. Why the Human Genome Project? Again, it is nowhere related to any scientific field. Again, it is not been needed by any of the common people. It has been required only for the scientific people who are working with the human genome. Even today, if I have the Human Genome Project, human genome sequence, what is the use of that? It's not having any social importance also. So you need to know the specific article, how it has become successful, the efforts put forward, and the efforts which have been made in such a way that the complete a scientist group have made a complete sequencing of the human genome, so that they can easily make alterations in the genes. They can easily study which gene is responsible for what type of a disease, which gene can make a particular function, what is the what how we can make the genes to what we call alter, how the genes can be changed by the genetic engineering. All those things can be made only when we have the complete genome sequence, right? After that, who made and what made and how it has been possible to select your research. So nothing but suddenly just by after completion of your MSc, you will not be after completion of MSc, if someone of you come for the research, suddenly no one will be having an idea of so in which field you want to do. So usually what happens in our region, we always depend on our guides area, specialized area. So if I'm expert in plant tissue culture, our students will start thinking on a plant tissue culture. It's not that. You need to select a specialized, the relevant, interested area. Whoever it may be the guide, a research guide or a PhD guide, just research guide, PhD guide is just a mentor. He is going to only what we call guide you if there are any problems. It's just acting as a troubleshoot. Okay, na? And now coming to the most important one, as I already told you, that the first general metrics is the impact factor. The impact factor is it's a IF in a short, in abbreviated in the further sentences, further slides. I have made it as only the IF and IF stands for impact factor. The IF impact factor is probably the most well-known metric, the most considered, most valuable metrics for the researchers to assess the journal performance. If high the impact factor, then there will be higher chance, higher reputation, higher chance of attracting more number of authors. And if again the impact factor is again the scientiometric index. Scientiometric index, nothing but it is the mathematical tool to evaluate the scientific as well as academic publications in a journal. What happens? How they are, how a journal is publishing the article, what is the parameter they are following, and whether the articles which have been published in a journal is having any what we call scientific relevance or not, whether if it is having scientific relevance, at what is the impact of that scientific relevance to the audience, how the author is making themselves to publish, making themselves to provide evidences for those. That is what the impact factor. And this impact factor usually varies every year. So this variation in the what we call impact factor every year is only based on number of citations. So nothing but, if for example a journal is usually having 4 volumes and every 3 months it is going to publish the articles, in each volumes it is publishing around 100 number of articles. So what happens, in a year they are going to publish 400 articles. Whether out of 400 articles, whether they, how many citations are receiving. Usually what happens, as I used to repeat that the citations are going to be increased only when, if the article is on a recent topics, if the article is on a more scientific evidences, if the article is on the tremendous result, if the article is on the innovative thinkings, if the article is on more valuable information. So then what happens, because of the all these parameters, if the journal is accepting the article, then it is going to increase the citation. If there is no increasing the citations of that particular year, then what happens, the next year the impact factor of a journal is going to be come down. Next, this impact factor is a good technique for the evaluation, as I already told you that, but more, it is not being considered as the only perfect tool to measure the quality of a article. Why? Again, because if I want to publish my article in a Nature, that is, it is suitable, more suitable to publish in a Nature journal. Again, it is having 42 impact factor. It has been said that the highest ever impact factor in a scientific arena. Because I don't want to, I am not interested in publishing in Nature, I want to publish it in a Springer, then it is going to become, the quality of an article is less. Not at all. I am not interested in publishing in the Nature, so I'm just left it. I'm publishing it in Springer, which is having around 3, 4, 5 or 10 impact factor, but the quality of article is not reduced. So always it has been said that high impact factor journal will accept high qualitative, high quality articles. But the authors are the main role, plays a major role in maintaining the quality of articles. If the quality of article is good, it's your quality to choose which is the best journal. And it has been said that even it is by the experience of my also, most of the journals which are having high impact factor will take more time to publish, usually because the peer review system will be will take more time, and they will take more time to evaluate the each and every sentences, each and every statements what you have provided in article. So it will take more time. So usually less impact factor journals will take very minimum time to publish your article. Where, how these impact factors can be made available for the different journals. So only the selected journals which are featuring in Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE. Again, Science Citation Index Expanded is again a tool. Those journals which are featuring on this, in this circumstances, this will be having impact factors. There are some other journals will show the impact factors like 7, 10, 9, but they are self-made impact factor. They are not the genuinely word accepted or scientific, I mean, this what we call academically accepted impact factors, where the journals which are having the Science Citation Index Expanded, which are featuring in this tool, will be having the genuine impact factor. Now coming to the how to evaluate, how to test the impact factor. Let us take impact factor of a Nature, as I already told you, that 42. How to test, how to check that one. So to test the impact factor of a journal, you need to go for example, you want to test the impact factor of a today's 2021. Let us take an example of 2017. So to test the impact factor of a journal in 2017, you need to check the citations in the year 2016 of a previous year. and the previous 2 years. You have to add the citations of the previous 2 years, 2016 or 2015, divided by number of publications which have been taken in those 2 years. So you have to test. For example, here we have got in the 2016 we have got 32,389 and the 41,701 citations in the previous 2 years, and the number of publications in those 2 years are 88 and 901, and you will get 41.577. This is the impact factor of this today's or 2017. This is how you have to calculate the impact factor.